So we knew where the degree ones would come from anyway in dealing with the 30, 60, 90, and 45, 45, 90 triangles. So now we're going to make those references over to here. The easiest thing I can always remember with this is reminding myself that since pi is 180, a lot of these can give me a reference really quickly. So for instance, I might look and say, okay, 180 divided by 30, or 30 divided by 180, I guess, is 1/6. 45 divided by 180, if I'm trying to quickly do this, because this is where they come from anyway, is 1/4, or pi over 4. Okay. 60 divided by 180 is 1/3, or pi over 3. So a lot of these have a reference to something that you're used to anyway. Okay, 90 divided by 180 is a half. It's pi over 2. 120 over 180, now it's getting a little more interesting, is 2/3, or 2 pi over 3. If you start getting to some that you're like, I don't know this one off the top of my head. So like 135 may be one of those. You're like, okay, 135 divided by 180. Let's get the simplified fraction. Okay, 3 pi over 4. And we're just going to keep playing our way around. 150 over 180 is 5/6. Then we have pi itself. And you just keep running these all the way around. Now, 210 over 180, you're like, can I do that? I mean, the number on top's bigger now. Sure. Same idea. Reduce it, 7 pi over 6. But that's kind of, now some of you I hope are going to start seeing a pattern here soon, but I'm not going to tell you what it is yet. Because there definitely is one, but I like you guys to try and see it instead of me just running my mouth, because I'm real good at that a lot of the time. But once we get around the circle here, we'll ponder and we'll chat a little bit on how, what's that? Oh dear, I have the calculator in the way as I'm writing here. Writing and thinking and not moving. Because once I get to the end, what I would have you take a peek at is your 30s, your 60s, and your 45s. The 45s are probably the easiest place to see where the pattern's at. So if I kind of highlight my 45s here, it might make them jump out a little bit more. You're like, okay, so pi over 4, 3 pi over 4. Well, wait a minute. 45, 90, oh. Pi over 4, 2 pi over 4, 3 pi over 4, 4 pi over 4, 5 pi over 4, and you can just keep working your way around. It's just when they're in reduced form, it doesn't look like they really make a connection. But when you're trying to do the unit circle, like if I gave you a blank one, which we'll be doing probably in the next week, and saying, okay, go. That's one of the things that you can do to make it go a little bit easier, and then you just work your way around to 2 pi, going pi over 4s all the way around. Well, guess what? That works with all of these. Pi over 6, 2 pi over 6, 3 pi over 6, 4 pi over 6, 5 pi over 6, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And you can just whack them off. Once you get the initial part down, it's always easy to go back and reduce them. But looking at the patterns with the 4s and with the 6s makes life a lot easier on you when you're trying to get those figured out. Okay? That's the biggest thing that I wanted to stress with you today, more than anything else, is just kind of getting used to that. do I want to play with this other part today, or do I want to wait? I actually am. I'm actually going to wait on that bottom part a little bit. We'll kind of do a part 2 of this tomorrow when we get into some of the unit circle notes where we can start making connections with these. So